Okay, so in this video what we're going to do is work out how you can look at a file size and turn it into bits, and how you can then calculate the download speed in bits of an internet connection, and then how you would calculate the actual time it takes to download a file. So these are the steps here. So we have to calculate the number of bits in the file, which we did in the last video. Then we've got to calculate the number of bits per second from the internet speed we're given, and then we just divide the answer to number 1 by number 2. Okay, so here we go. So let's assume then we've got a 10 megabit per second internet connection, and you might be given a 20 megabit per second or a 5 megabit per second. That's pretty straightforward. So the first thing you've got is maybe the file size. So we've done this before, but let's just do one again. So imagine that we've got a 3 kilobyte file. Perhaps again the notation might be KB, and we have to then turn that into bits. So we know it's 3 units, so that's 3. We know that it's in bytes, so we times by 8, and we know that it's kilo, so we know that that's 1024. So 3 times 8, 8, 16, 24 times 1024. So again, I've got a calculator, but again, you might not be allowed to do this in the examination with a calculator, so you probably wouldn't get one quite so large. So that's 24,576. So just for argument's sake, I'm doing this obviously here. So that's the number of bits in the file. Now, working out the bits in the internet connection is much easier. We've got the units here, so we know it's 10 units. Okay, and we know also that it's megabits, so that tells us that it's 10 times a million, which is really easy. 10 million bits. So what we've got then is we've got a 24,576 bit file, and we're downloading at 10 million bits per second. So all we then need to do is 24,576 divided by 10 million, which again, I'm using my calculator for this. So we divide by 10 million, and that should give us 0.0024 seconds. So assuming if we have 10 megabit per second internet and it's going at 10 megabit per second, as you know, they don't always go that quickly and very rarely do. In fact, for a 3 kilobyte file or 24,576 bits, it would take us 0.0024 seconds, and that is the notation we use. We use seconds. We don't use minutes or hours, unless of course it's a much bigger file, but you wouldn't be given a challenge like that to do. And the main thing is you need to know is that over here is, if it's a K, we're timesing by 1024, but obviously if it's a megabit, we're timesing by 1024 times 1024, and over here, for the megabits, it's a really easy one. We just need to times whatever the value is here, the units, by a million. You're not likely to get a gigabit connection, but if it was a gigabit, it'd be 10 times a billion. And again, you wouldn't be given that kind of challenge. Okay, so that's how we calculate over here, file size, over here, internet speed in bits, and here is our calculation to break down the bits divided by the internet speed, which gives us the time to download a file.